Got my eyes straight ahead, got my head in the game. With the red light on, I'm just waiting for the change. Keep my head down low.
So I've been talking for quite a while about the possibility of these hate speech laws coming in across Australia. I've been saying they're going to cause a problem, and especially when it comes to freedom of religious speech. I think they're going to cause a big issue for Christians and even for Muslims. You got to be realistic. They're Muslims shouldn't be burying their head in the sand, thinking, "Oh, it won't affect us." Everyone loves us. They don't want to talk nasty about us. This is going to affect a lot of religious groups. Okay, personally, I think it's really going to affect Christianity, the Bible, a lot more than people recognize. Anyway. So there's a story that's coming out, that has come out. I'm going to go through and so we've got the laws moving ahead, these hate speech powers that are going to be moving ahead in New South Wales. Like I said, you read through this article and I think it's genuinely scary where they're going with this and what it's going to mean for free speech and just being able to converse about things, discuss things in a mature manner. And they're putting more and more power into police officers' hands, taking it out of, I'll read the article, we'll go through it. But I just, the way they're handling this, I think it's scary. I think it's dangerous. Here you go. From The Guardian, fears tough new hate speech powers for New South Wales police could have chilling effect on public debate. Okay, so New South Wales police will be handed the power to lay charges for threats and incitement to violence based on race and religion in a reform introduced to state parliament amid rising tensions over the conflict in Gaza. The Premier, Chris Minns, said the laws governing hate speech apparently, according to the intelligent politicians in New South Wales, they needed to have teeth. Okay. When he announced the change after a swift review of the legislation. Things always work out really well when politicians give it a swift review. Always works out really well. Leading legal minds have spoken out against the change, insisting safeguards are important and the changes would risk opening the floodgates for controversial speech to be investigated. As it stands, police need to seek approval to use the laws from the Director of Public Prosecutions to charge anyone for making threats or inciting violence. Under the proposed change, the DPP, the Director of Public Prosecutions, would be sidestepped and the power would rest with police. Come on. Obviously, I know a lot of police, a lot of ex-police, a lot of current police. You do not want police being able to make these decisions and not having to go through the Department of Public Prosecutions first for something this serious. The laws have already, the powers have already been there, but there was a process. You had to run it through the DPP to make sure you could meet the requirements before you're going to go and start not investigating, but charging someone. This is dangerous way to go. So it goes on to say the 2018 law was reviewed after weeks of pro-Palestinian protests and a string of alleged anti-Semitic incidents across Sydney. But isn't this always the way? Something happens and we have a knee-jerk reaction. Like I said, a quick review. Yep, this needs to change. Knee-jerk reaction, and our politicians inevitably screw it up for everyone. The Attorney General, bring this back up for you. The Attorney General, Michael Daly, said he was making the change because recent dynamic events had shown him the law was no longer fit for New South Wales. Yeah. Some of the alleged behavior that we're seeing on the streets has caused us within government to have a look at this provision and then to come to the conclusion that it could be better improved, streamlined, just give it straight over to the police, despite the law having been available to police and the DPP for 5 years. That's what I mean. Already been available for 5 years. But what are they saying? Just 12 charges. Sorry, just 12 No, it means it should be charges, not changes. Just 12 charges have been laid using the legislation as it stands. Of those, so these charges that would have already been laid have all gone through under the guide of the Department of Public Prosecutions. And then they're saying 10 were withdrawn and 2 convictions were being appealed in the High Court. Yeah, that doesn't tell you something already? Come on, you've got to be so careful. And they want to take it out of the hands of the DPP and put it straight into police hands. This will politicize, okay? And it'll weaponize the police in a way that politicians will guarantee this happens already. Politicians are on the phone to the hierarchy saying, hey, we need to deal with this. You've got the power, just go out and do it. And then the hierarchy are calling up the police on the beat saying, go out. Remember, you've got this power, go and use it. That's exactly what they do. They seen it happen. That's what happens. According to the Attorney General, the administrative burden added by the referral of possible cases to the DPP meant police had been less likely to opt for the provision, and he hoped to remove it. Would see it used more. It adds an extra burden. So an extra burden means some extra work, means they have to take extra precautions. They have to actually make sure the charge is warranted. The charge can be used. The charge actually fits. It's an extra burden. An extra safeguard is what it is. An individual found guilty under the laws would face a fine of up to $11,000 or up to 3 years in jail or both. There you go. Daly has said the change would bring the process in line with that available to police charging someone with displaying a Nazi symbol. But it's not the same thing, is it? It really isn't. It doesn't take a genius. It doesn't take someone with a law degree to know that if someone is running around on the streets waving a Nazi symbol, that is very, very different to these hate speech laws. Well, and that's what they say here. The legal groups have said the 2 offenses should not be compared due to the complex difference between the charges. Ain't that truth? Greg Barnes, criminal justice spokesperson at the Australian Lawyers Alliance, said the law, which was only introduced in 2018, needed to be applied carefully and as such needed DPP oversight. It requires careful consideration before charging anyone with this offence because it is broad and it applies in the context of it being a curtailment of freedom of speech, he said. It's broad charge. That's why you have to have it under the watchful eye of the DPP. But the politicians they constantly do this. They just want to race ahead. Anyway, here you go. They say here, these may include, I'll go back. Lydia Shelley, the president of, said the charges risk unintended consequences. These may include the politicization of police investigations and prosecutions, the misuse of police resources, as well as having a chilling effect on issues that should be debated in public. Shelley said the alleged abhorrent chants at the Opera House should already be captured under the legislation. This is the thing. They're talking about these marches, these protests that happen, which were disgusting. Like I said, these people that are out there protesting, go back to the country if you feel so strongly about it. But they're already captured. These chants should already be captured under the legislation, like she's saying. So why on earth do you need to change it? Why do you need to take it out from under the watchful eye of the DPP and give it straight to police? This will, like this lady was saying, it will cause the politicization of police investigations and prosecutions. I've seen it happen, heard it happening. Police, the hierarchy will ring up they must have been in discussions with politicians or someone else. They are under the pump, and they're saying, they come out with, oh, we've got this legislation, we can use this, we should be doing this. Politicians are going to be on the phone to police saying, you can get straight down there, you should be arresting these people. We're going to see a lot more arrests. We're going to end up seeing a lot more wrongful arrests. You're endangering the lives and the freedom of people. And we're going to see freedom of speech slowly, not slowly, actually, quickly eroding away. And the police officers are the last people that should be in charge of our freedom of speech. Speaking as a former police officer, police are the last people that you want judging who should be charged, okay? You need these safeguards in place, but that's where we're going. That's where we've been going for the last 5 years or so, especially since COVID came in. This is exactly where we've been going. They want to erode, they want to take away our freedom of speech. They want to keep us all nailed down under the thumb. This is about government control. And in the, I'd say in the long term, but I don't think it'll be that long, to be honest. In the future, in the very near future, I think we will see a greater attack on freedom of religious speech. Anyway, that's just my opinion. Hey, you don't have to listen to me. I just think it's exactly what's going to happen. That's where I believe this is going. This is going to set a bad precedent. Anyway, it's just my opinion. We'll see how it all pans out, eh? Thanks for listening to The Slippery Slope.
They just fuel a desire that will take me high.